How my journey began. It's graduation time. Family is very important to me, including my puppies. The Marine Corps played a huge role in my life and allowed me to be ambitious, inspiring, a mentor, and achieve all of my goals. As a financial expert, I've received multiple awards, done various events as a guest speaker all over the U.S. with my platform of creating healthy financial habits, along with having my own business, all leading up to my show. Come along for the journey.
One. Hello, Gems, and welcome to our Christmas Eve episode. I couldn't have chosen a better guest than the one you're about to hear from. Her journey, faith, and business savviness is something everyone can learn from. Now, before I tell you a little bit about her, I want to tell you about the niche market that she's in. The Christian clothing industry has total sales of $4.5 billion in their annual sales. Now, annual t-shirt sales revenue in the US alone is $6.9 billion. So she actually has the best of both worlds. Now, what are the benefits of having a niche market? So it's reduced competition because people are looking at you. You're not competing with everyone else that, let's just say, has a plain t-shirt. Nope. Yours is completely different. You're bringing something different to every client's and every customer's experience. You also have increased in visibility because when you have a niche market, you have that brand that, oh, what is that? I haven't seen that before. Where'd you get that from? That looks real neat. So the word of mouth during the niche market travels a whole lot more because people want to have exactly what you have. And absolutely, it's fun and it's specialized to each guest, meaning in your niche market, people are wanting what you have and wanting what you give. So trust and believe when I say she's done her homework and she's definitely a success in the industry that she's in. Now, let me introduce you to our guest today. She was born in Smithtown, New York. Her favorite brand influencer is Crystal Perkins. Her favorite inspirational show is the V1 Church podcast. Her next vacation place and location is Jamaica. I love it. I made to see her there as well because I'm well overdue for a vacation. And she currently resides in Flowery Branch, Georgia. Rayna, welcome to the show and thank you for coming on. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So we're going to get going. I want to tell my gems about the Heart of Worship. Love the name of that brand. So tell us how this faith-based business was created.
So I have been a worship leader for many years. And as a worship leader and a gospel artist, Christian artist, I just would create a t-shirt or some kind of merchandise that would basically support a song that I'm releasing or a conference that I'm having or something of that nature. And so that's really how it all started. And then one day I just started to focus and build it up as a brand and make it a business and focus on that niche.
Absolutely. So building those t-shirts or having those t-shirts, you were already doing your own marketing. You're like, I want you to hear me and see me. So she basically created t-shirts, just through lack of, hey, how do I get the word out? A t-shirt says who I am before I have the opportunity to introduce myself. So awesome for you for doing that, because that's one of those things I like to tell my gems that we kind of sort of forget. We forget those small things that even just having a t-shirt on, you're always marketing. You're always making yourself visible. Yep. So tell us about your mission statement and why is that important to you?
So my mission statement has always been connecting people to the heart of God. As a worship leader, as a Christian, just growing up, that's just something that has always sat in my heart. I know there have been so many times that I just felt disconnected from God and I felt disconnected from people and love and all of that. And so that was one of the missions that God just placed on my heart, that I would connect people to the heart of God, whether it be through a t-shirt, whether it be through a song, whether it be through an inspirational word or some type of resource that could help. I just want to connect people to the heart of God.
And that is an amazing statement and a mission statement, that connection. And people often forget that human connection that we have, sometimes it's the missing link, like you said, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a song, whether it's anything, you're connecting them to something else
Yeah.
that they can continue to go back to. So again, I absolutely love that. So you got the brand up and going, Heart of Worship, but what was your initial investment to launch your business?
So my initial investment, there were a few things that I had to, start. I did my homework. So obviously we've got to get a logo, you got to get a website, you have to get all those marketing things.
Right.
And you don't always get it right the first time.
Right.
So I initially started out with about $500 going for my logo, my website, trademark, those kinds of things. And then for me, in order to just gain confidence and to at least just know stats, know where I'm going, get some information, I actually hooked up with a mentor and a coach.
Yes.
And I paid about $1,000 for a program
Right.
where I could learn the ins and outs of the apparel business and boutiques, and where we can get materials from,
Right.
just the things that we can do in order to try to just work on what are our costs going to be, because we don't want to build a house if we don't know what the costs are going to be.
Right.
So just trying to figure out those things. I spent money in those areas. I spent money on ads. I just spent money in different places. So at least $2,000 to $3,000 getting
Right.
started. And I listen, we may not have it, but just do it. You know what I'm saying? Start with a small amount and get things piece by piece. You don't have to do it all at the same time.
Yes, yes. And for my gems, I know she mentioned it, but I wanted to definitely dive into something she said that I think it's important to hear, is that she hired a coach. She went out there to take these coursework, the 6-week coursework, to learn more about the business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we see how business owners kind of start and then we wonder, why didn't it work? Well, you kind of didn't do your research. You didn't ask other people who were doing exactly what you do and what you want to do. Tell me, how did this work for you? Let me not do all of the same hurdles and go through all those obstacles that you did. Not that you're not going to go through hurdles and obstacles, but let me at least get through some of the ones that you can teach me about. So she did it 6 weeks, guys, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6-week course to learn what she was doing. A lot of us don't take that seriously. And I just wanted to, again, applaud Rayna for doing that 6-week course, because this is, again, all before she said, the launch. This is yes, I'm getting the trademark, the website, the logo together. But hey, I don't know if I'm ready to go out there just yet until I know what I'm doing. I don't want to go out there and just fall flat on your face, because, in business, you have one time to make a good impression. Your reputation is everything. So if you start off on the wrong foot, that's what people remember. They're like, really nice lady, but she's all over the place, just unorganized, just structures, just, I will give her about 2-3 more years to get it together. And in business, you don't have 2-3 more years for someone to think you need to get it together. So definitely doing the initial investments into that was key. So I know that you said you had a lot of great conversations when you and I had spoke before with other entrepreneurs. Tell me a little bit about that.
So one of the things that, as you said, getting to talk to other people, learning their mistakes, learning the things that worked for them, the things that didn't work for them, you are able, and listen, some of the things that didn't work for them might work for you, depending on the niche market that you're in.
Right.
And so I just learned in speaking to other people and having a coach, having someone say to me, even for me, I wanted to introduce all these different designs at one time.
Right.
And the coach was like, you know what? No. Absolutely not. The worship niche is working for you. You take your best t-shirt and you give them a hoodie, give them a bag, give them a hat, give them different things in that area. And so I just find that someone that's going to keep you focused, it's really important, because we look around and we look at other people, we look at other people's plates and their tables, and we're like, oh, why can't I do that? Or I want to do this. And having a coach really just keeps me focused, talking to other business people, understanding that we're all going to go through those struggles and we're all going to deal with these things. I think it is very helpful if you network and keep yourself with a support system.
Absolutely. And having a coach, if you could tell them, that's the benefits of, you mentioned it, but the benefits that she's told you about having the niche market, because I really want people to get that, because people are often, they're looking at, let's say, this restaurant or this brand, and they say, oh, I want to do that. And you're like, do you really want to be the next chicken restaurant? Why is yours going to be so different? Why would we go to you instead of someone else? So yes, what does she kind of teach and train you on that?
So some of the specific things was, in the sense of, I was out there marketing and I thought no one liked anything that I had out there. And she was like, well, who are you marketing to? Yes. Your family and friends? If they're not into this stuff, they're not going to be interested. So you got to find your platform, find the platform of people that are interested in what you are marketing. And so with it being Worship Warrior, I had to leave my family and friends and posting on, on my personal page, thinking that my family and friends were just going to support. And I had to start using hashtags that were specific, using worship leader hashtags, worship pastor, worship director, creatives. There were specific hashtags that I needed to tag on to my marketing gibber. And then in addition to that, there were places that I needed to reach out, churches. Different events that are going to have church events in that, just things in that nature, because I was just out there like, hey, somebody follow me. I'm here. And so I really had to learn to focus my time in the niche area of the people that are going to, that want what I have to offer.
Right.
That's the thing. You got to find, there are people, and people always say, well, everyone's doing what I'm doing. Yes, but there's an audience specifically for you.
For you.
Exactly. So I learned that. It was hard, but I got it. You got to pay attention to the people who naturally come to you.
Yes.
Things that you are offering, those that you don't have to chase after, because if they're into it, they're going to come to you. I've had people come and say, oh, I'm a worship leader and I don't see anything in a 4X. If you get me a 4X, I promise you, I'll buy every t-shirt. And I promise you, I got her a 4X in every t-shirt. If I had to go to the store and get it myself, I was able to. Yeah. So, you just got to reach for the people that are looking for you. And I think being focused in your niche is going to be really important.
Yes. I try to tell my business owners, because I do it for myself, is to be good at what you do, not necessarily a jack of all trades, but be a master of one. Yes. People need to know how to find you. Like you said, you were like, hey, I'm out here this way. And they're like, yeah, that's nice. And you're like, why don't you like me? And I think a lot of times business owners are out there and people are seeing you, but you're not getting that feedback. You're not getting the customers. You're not building up the clientele. And you probably just need to pivot and go into another direction and say, like you said, who is naturally coming to me? Like for you, maybe it's your churches, it's your worship, it's a different group that maybe you haven't tapped into you, but they're waiting for someone like you to say, yes, we love this. You fit into our niche.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with pivoting.
No,
there's nothing wrong. And I think I said, I say this all the time. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Always get what you
So you need, if it's not working, there's nothing wrong with going back to the table.
Yes.
And re-strategizing.
You have to. And I would say probably even having a coach to say, hey, we're not going to keep banging our head on the same wall. Like that's not working. And a lot of people do that. Just like, no, but I know they'll like me. And it's not that they don't like you. You're just not giving them what they want right now. Yes. You haven't tapped into them and they haven't tapped into you. It's like the worst relationship. Like you're just, two magnets that are not clicking at all.
Two boats passing each other.
Right. Or just, you got to find the one that's just a perfect blend and a perfect match. Yeah. And, sometimes it does hurt to stop and say, you know what? I got to scratch everything, get a whole new paper book, and just let's start from day one, topic one, and just go from there. And for you to not be afraid to do that, because you did it, it wasn't working, you could have easily stopped. That's where a lot of business owners stop and they just say, you know what, maybe this is not for me. It's okay, I'll try something else.
Yeah.
That's when I always say being a master of one thing. Yeah. You didn't pivot. You didn't say, you know what, let me try shoes. Maybe people like shoes. Let me try something else. Like, I don't know. You said, no, I believe in what it is that I do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make it work. And having that coach just kind of put the blanket and put everything on there to help you, kind of get through there. So I also want to tell, because I think I haven't met her, but it sounds like you have a phenomenal coach.
Yeah.
And how is she helping to transition you from your current job to making this full-time and getting you the income that you want?
So one of the things that I made sure for me when I chose a coach that they were a faith-based coach.
Yes.
Because that is, this is what my business represents. And so, I trust her. I trust her words. And one of the things she said to me was, I'm a 6-figure or more coach.
Yes.
And so next year is your year for 6 figures.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to come up with a strategy. You've got until the end of the year. So now I have like a month left, not even,
Right.
or not even a month, less than a month. Like, I have like,
I don't know,
5 days, 2 weeks,
Right.
I have just a couple of weeks left to make sure that I've got my plan set for what 2021 is going to look like.
Yes.
So we've actually sat down and talked about how do we transition your business into a 6-figure business? What are the things that we need to do to get you to this place? So we're going from not just t-shirts, we're moving from t-shirts to worship planners and to worship journals. And we're offering worship coaching services. There's just going to be a whole different thing, or a bunch of different things that we're going to add to the business of Heart of Worship Co. that is going to help me to transition off the job into a full-time entrepreneur.
I love it. And you're doing the epitome of what business owners should be doing. You found a coach that is a great partnership and a great fit for you. Sometimes we go out there and we say, just Google, and they're like, first one, yep, that may not be the right one for you. And the coach that your friend has may not be the right one for you because you're on 2 different paths. So to really sit there and say, I want someone who has a faith background just like me. I want someone that can help me pivot from my job to another job. I don't want this to be a hobby for the rest of my life. So making sure, that you find someone, a partnership, accountability partner that's on track with you. Yes. Not just someone that's just like, hey, I want to see you succeed. I hope you get there. But I don't know. Yep. So definitely I really love the way that she's setting you up for success. And it sounds like she's holding you to those goals and those benchmarks. Because you're right, 2021 is literally, it's knocking around the corner. It's coming at us. It's there. Yes. And so you mentioned it before, but I really want to hone on it again about shifting your mindset, coming away from my feelings are hurt to that shift, and how sometimes we have to kind of shift our brain and refocus on a different successful path. What was that like for you?
So for me, I have a lot of times struggled with my confidence.
Yeah.
And so I was very strategic with my coaches. I was very strategic with the people who I've had surround me. And I think coming together with people who have like minds and that are going to push one another when you're in those moments that you feel like, look, I cannot do this anymore. I am tired. It is not working. Listen, we have to... There are decisions that I've had to make. Here's the thing, we always got to go back and say, what can I do that's different, right? And that's where the change came from. If I'm saying, okay, I don't have the funding for this and I don't have the funding for that, but I had the funding to go and buy a bag, or I had the funding to go and go on vacation. There are certain choices that you make when you are running a business. I mean, and I'm not afraid to say it. When my husband and I decided that we were going to do a live recording for my album, we turned our cable off. There were different things that we sacrificed so that we could pay for the things that we knew that God was calling us to do, whether it be ministry, whether it be a business, whether it be our job. We stopped eating out so that there's just certain things that we got to do. And I think when our mind shifts from I want something, but I don't want to make the sacrifices for it.
Mhm.
When we shift from there to that place of I'm going to do whatever it takes, that's when the magic happens.
That's
That's when things really happen. And so I would encourage everyone, just take a moment, take a day, take a self-care day, sit down, think about it. What do I need to do to get myself where I really want to go? And where do I want to go?
yes.
Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Even talking to you and, talking to different people has really forced me to kind of put some things into place
Yes.
and know, okay, this is exactly where I want to go. And, yeah, there may be a couple detours and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you put your mind to it, you can absolutely, absolutely do it.
I love that. You hit on a lot of this, a lot of the things that I talk with my clients about, just regarding, like you said, the finances.
Yeah.
You have to give up certain things to go to where you want to go.
Yeah.
People always say, yeah, I get it. If we won the lottery, of course, if I won the lottery, I know what I want to do and things would be different. But right now,
Exactly.
we haven't won the lottery. That's just not what happened.
Not what happened.
You work within the budget that you have, and you're right. You and your husband sat down and they said, what is meaningful, what is doable, and what can we do without? You're right. We can do without cable.
Yep.
Does that mean we're not watching TV? No, we're watching a different type. We
That's
can
right.
do without going out to the restaurant. Does that mean she's starving? No, we're not starving.
I'm not starving.
She's not starving. We're eating at home.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you do these things, you eat at home, you guess what? Now you're spending more time with your family. When you're not spending, sitting in front of a TV, you're spending more time talking to one another. So,
Absolutely.
like you said, you'll be surprised the gifts and the blessings that come to you when you decide to take some of those sacrifices, because you got what you wanted in the end, which is to make the album. And I tell these people, these short sacrifices are just that, they're little tiny shortness.
That's
to
it.
get the bigger gain, you have to look at the bigger picture to know this is just one little dot on where I want to go.
Yep.
For this type of success. And a lot of times people aren't willing to give up that comfort. Like, but what if I don't get to watch my favorite show? Your favorite show will be there. Well, what about, Taco Tuesdays or this? Tuesdays will always be there.
Make your own tacos.
They're not going anywhere. I promise you.
Not going anywhere.
Going anywhere. So
No.
being able to identify your goals.
That's right.
Stay on track and just know that the more success that you get, the more it's going to be a downward, as I say, like blessing to all the other things. So guess what? Now you may have cable, you may have more channels than what you want. When you go out to eat, instead of going out to this restaurant now, because it's freed up something else, you can go over here. So being able to see that foresight, I love it. That's why I wanted to go back and talk about that, because I knew you was going to give it to them.
Yes.
I love it because they need to hear it. They're used to hearing it from me, but I'm like, nope. Somebody else says it too. So you have just a phenomenal line, but on average, what is the cost of your apparel?
So it is very budget friendly. Our t-shirts run between 25 and 28 based on the size. Our hoodies that we are about to release. Yes. So it'll be for the whole winter season. Our hoodies are 35 to about 37 based on the size.
Definitely.
And so we're really excited. Everything is budget friendly. We just ran a sale for Black Friday, and we just ran a holiday sale. So listen, if it ain't under the tree, that's okay. You can get it from the top of the year. It'll still be here. We'll have our hoodies and everything for you guys. So we're budget friendly. We absolutely are.
Absolutely.
We don't want to break the bank. We want to speak through our teas. That's what we want to do.
Absolutely. And being budget friendly, keeping up with the market, being, fairly priced is what people want. The price for the hoodies, honestly, guys, that's a normal price for a hoodie. Mm-hmm. And some of you pay more for hoodies. So I don't want to hear you say nothing about her hoodies because you can afford it.
Okay.
And all of her t-shirts and everything are definitely so affordable and worth it. It's just one of a kind. And people will ask you, where did you get this? Take a look at her website and see that. So why should anyone, not just those who are faith-based with background, buy your merchandise?
Well, I would say you should buy my merchandise because we love you. We love you guys. And we do this to connect people to the heart of God. And really, it's all about wearing that shirt. If you don't feel like saying anything that day, it's on the shirt. If you're
Yes.
not feeling up to it, it's on the shirt. And that was one thing I learned in business. My husband would be like, "Hey, why don't you have your shirt on?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and my coach too. She's like, "Don't you leave that house without that shirt on," And so that's why buy from us, because we love you. We want to see you connected to the heart of God. And you know what? We want you to connect others to the heart of God as well. So please buy the shirt.
Yes. And you know what? One of the best reasons is because we love you. She didn't say, because I need your money for this. She didn't
No.
say because I'm saving up for that. She said, because my brand, we love you. Putting on this shirt and giving the heart of God and the heart of worship to others is spreading that love and joy that definitely during this pandemic, we needed
We need
so
it.
much of. And going
Yeah.
into 2021, we're going to need a whole lot more of that. So, and she said it because I swear she said stuff and it's in my brain. And she said, sometimes when you're not able to talk, you're in your moods, you have the shirt that says,
Speaks for you.
it speaks volumes. It speaks to where you are because you chose to wear it today.
Yep.
And when you walk around, you were spreading that love wherever you go. Because I've seen it. I put on different shirts and people stop and they're like, what is that? Let me read it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yes.
People read your shirt. They may not talk to you,
Yes.
but they read your shirt. I love t-shirts. I love what they say. And because we love you, doesn't get any better than that. So before we part with Miss Rayna and we enjoy our Christmas, I always have a lot of my guests, my gems that come in here, leave us with an inspirational quote, just something that is meaningful to you that you want to share with us. What is an inspirational quote you have for our gems?
Okay, so it's a little more than a quote, but
That's okay.
first of all, you are enough. Okay, that's first. We just released a t-shirt that's saying "I am enough." So one, I want you to know that you are enough.
Love it.
Do not let anyone tell you that your idea is not good enough, what you're thinking can't be done, because here's the thing. Stop Googling, stop doing all of that, because what God has given for you to do, it hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
So you are enough, right? And then I think a lot of times as people of faith, we want to write the vision and we forget to do the work.
Ooh,
So write the vision, but do the work. Don't just write it down and then write down what it's going to take to get there. Don't forget to do the work.
yes.
We can't you can do as much as you can do with a resume and you can pray, but if you don't show up for the interview, you don't practice, you don't learn the firm or the company's name and what what they represent. If you don't learn all of that before you get there, there's a good chance you're probably not going to get that job.
Yep.
So I say to you, not only write that vision, but do the work.
Do the work.
Do the work.
That is definitely an inspiration, pick me upper, and a quote. I love it. Do the work. Be the best version of you. You are unique. I love it. I love it. I used to tell people, there are 1,000,001 soaps out there. If you're thinking about doing soap right now, do it.
Do it.
You are unique.
Yeah.
You're unique.
Yes.
And people are gonna love you for that. I love it. I love it. You got me all I'm all hyped up too. So, Rayna, thank you so much for coming on my show. I really do appreciate you having, taking the time out to spend this time with me and with us.
Thank you. I'm so honored. It was so good.
Thank you. And hey, Gems, don't forget, buy, share, and enjoy these merchandises you have. Again, Heart of Worship, doesn't matter your faith, doesn't matter your background. This is still for you, and you are going to be a blessing to anyone and everyone who sees this with you.
Yep.
So, Gems, creating healthy financial habits is a lifelong commitment. Remember, without change, there'd be no butterflies. I love that quote every time I say it, and I say it every segment, but it's so true. Without change, there'll be no butterflies. So when you see a butterfly out there, know that there was a metamorphosis that took place, a time of wait, a time of just peace and calmness before the blossom happened. Yeah. Wait for your butterfly to come out. Changing habits, changing lives, and changing futures are all up to you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry
We
Christmas.
hope you all have a beautiful holiday, and we will see you shortly. Take care.